Hello, and welcome to this episode of Leadership Unfiltered, where our topic today is burnout. And there's so many things happening in the world around us personally, as well as a lot of things that are happening professionally, that you could easily find yourself in burnout. And today we're going to talk about what that means, what that looks like, and maybe some ways to deal with burnout. I am Dr. Dayan Douse. I am a coach and facilitator of transformational behavior, and I'm joined by
Phillip Smith. I am coder by blood, architect by trade, and leader by choice. I have led large and small organizations across corporate America for over 25 years.
Excellent. So, burnout, it is real. A lot of people are experiencing burnout right now. I am working with clients right now who we're working through what that means for them. And I'll just give you some examples of the way that it's showing up for them. And I'll share some of the ways that I experience burnout myself. Some of the conversations that I'm having right now are around leaders who are burning out. And they're dealing with constant change in the organization. And it's not that change is bad, but when they're feeling like there's constant change and they don't have the opportunity to even settle in with the change that they're trying to implement, that is causing them burnout. And I know I've experienced that myself. I'll talk about personally how I'm experiencing burnout right now, as we are all experiencing a lot that's happening in the world around us. I found myself watching the news constantly and almost like a TV show. And that was starting to stress me out and causing me a level of burnout. And so one of the things I found is I needed to just stay informed, but not watch it constantly, just so I could have a break from that level of anxiety and stress that I was feeling from watching the things that were happening in our communities. And so that is one of the ways that I was experiencing burnout. From a professional level, I've often experienced burnout because my brain continues to tick even when I wish I could shut it down. It causes me sleepless nights. I feel it physically. I'm just not myself when I am burned out. I don't think as clearly. I'm not as responsive to a challenge when I am burned out. And I know it's impacting a lot of folks, personally and professionally, so I thought this was a good topic for us to lean into.
I agree. So, Dan, tell me about your latest episode with burnout. Latest. So take me to the lead up, what happened as you were in the middle of it, and how you got through it.
So yesterday, but it's probably been very recent that I have experienced burnout. And it's usually caused by having multiple things going on. There's some pressure that I'm feeling. And so a real example of that is I am prepping for upcoming facilitation with a client. And of course, wanting that to be successful, really leaning into that. But while doing so, I am putting undue stress and pressure on myself to try to make that successful, as well as thinking of all the other things that are happening personally and professionally and how to juggle and manage all those things, and just feeling a level of burnout, again, to where I'm not sleeping well at night. And not only not sleeping well, but I find myself at 3 or 4 a.m. just getting out of bed, going back to work because I can't sleep. So it's not just that I'm not sleeping, but I'm actually physically getting up. And so then I'm tired. And when I'm tired, I'm just not on my A game. And so then it makes the prep even harder. And so that is how it's currently showing up, is just juggling a bunch of things, wanting them all to be successful, not allowing myself to lean on my own experience that this will be successful on the other side, but just worried and anxious about what this looks like. And that is causing me a level of burnout.
And how are you working through that?
One of the things that was suggested to me to try to deal with my burnout is meditation. Now, a meditation is not working for me in the moment because, again, the noise. When I, try to calm my body and my mind and sit quiet, eyes closed, and there's people that do meditation much better, that can explain meditation much better and the techniques around it. I don't do very well with it because I can't let the thought that comes in go out. It sits with me, and now I'm no longer meditating. I'm thinking about how to solve this challenge that's in my head. So the way I've been trying to deal with this current level of burnout is to try to rest as much as I can, to try to remember my experience, to try to not get ahead of myself. So what I'm finding is I am projecting into the future the outcome that I believe will happen as part of my preparation, as opposed to just being present. Being present, focusing on the preparation, being confident in my ability, letting that experience be what it's going to be. That is helping me to just remind myself to stay present and not try to look into the future. Really to lean on my past experiences. There is no failure, right? I'm going to be successful at this, even if I learn something on the other end or something doesn't go the way I want. It's a learning, not a failure. So I have to keep reminding myself of that. And then I talk to people like you and my close circle to just, when I'm feeling burned out, to get some support there and to have people remind me that to stay present, that things will be fine, and to not lean too far into the future and try to experience this anxiety and burnout.
You make a really good point that there is a linkage between anxiety and burnout. I don't think it's often explored. And I'm not sure which one causes the other, but they seem to definitely feed on each other.
Yeah.
You're working harder to resolve the anxiety, and the anxiety is causing you to work harder. And they seem to feed off each other. So I think there's a linkage there that's worth exploring. But you also mentioned one of your mechanisms to deal with burnout is resting. And rest is choosing to stop.
Love those words.
You're choosing to not take an action. You're deliberately saying, I could do this, but I'm choosing to not. Which is different than recovery, which is what happens when you burn out. And so recovery is when you've injured yourself and you are forced to sit down. And so I think your mechanism of saying, one of the ways that I deal with burnout is to rest. And so my question to you is, how do you know you're resting and not in recovery?
Ooh, that is probably something I need to think about because I'm not sure I thought about it in that way. And I'm glad you draw the distinction between the two because I would probably say I confuse them.
Okay.
Honestly. That I probably think I'm resting, but I'm actually recovering. And I would actually say I'm probably in recovery more than I'm resting. To use the word injured, something is wrong that I need to recover from. In rest, when I think about rest, I think about just being in this place of peace.
Yes.
And it's hard to rest when you're not peaceful. When your mind is churning, when your body's upset. There's no peace in that, and so it's hard to rest. And so that's a great question that I need to explore more and figure out when I'm experiencing that. I know when I'm in burnout, I'm in recovery. Your question, though, is or the question that comes to mind is how do I get out of that to rest? And I don't know. I don't know at this moment.
It is confusing. And I know I'm similar in the fact that for the longest time, I confused the two as well. I thought my recoveries, because I wasn't doing something, was rest. And it's not. Rest, to your point, and I loved how you put it, rest is peaceful. Because you consciously made the choice, it can't be anything but peaceful.
Yes.
That has helped me go, because I took a rest for the first time in a very long time to say I could move forward and I'm not. And it's for people who are driven, it's so hard. What I find interesting is athletics, and I am by no means any close to any authority on athletics. But I think athletics gets this, right? They build in to the concept of work and rest, and work, and when you do injure yourself, it's completely acceptable to recover.
Yes.
And so athletic gets this. Corporate America does not.
Yes.
I struggle to understand why that is. That in corporate America, there is this undercurrent. There is this unstated expectation that you work hard, you work long, and you are the first to come in and the last to leave. And you drive, and the work is celebrated, but resting is not. And recovery is penalized. And so that is something I accept it because it's real. At the same time, I don't necessarily understand it when athletics just fundamentally understands that in order to get the win, because that's what all of this is about. It's about winning, right? When you put in a strategic plan in place, the strategy is for win. It's for the win.
Yes.
And you put leaderships in place to execute the strategy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have your folks on your respective teams doing the tactics to align to the strategy, and the whole purpose of the strategy is for the win.
Yes.
So if you're doing all of that, and athletics understands that you have to work hard to get the win, but you also have to rest.
Yes.
Otherwise, you end up in recovery.
Yes.
Athletics gets it. I don't understand why corporate America does not fundamentally understand it.
Yeah. What's interesting, I'm glad you pointed this out and used that analogy, because I started by saying that a lot of leaders that I'm working with right now are experiencing burnout because of constant change. And what you just made clear to me in that analogy is that the reason they are burned out and what corporate America is not getting is work, and working hard does not require constant change.
Correct.
That you can put in change, rest, but still work and work hard.
Yes.
To make those changes that you've implemented successful without feeling the need to implement another change. So people don't have the time to even recover. They've been injured in some way. Something's not quite right that they need to get settled from that change that was implemented, and that is okay. That does not mean they're not working hard. But it feels like, oh, okay, we got that change in. Let's implement something else. Otherwise, we're not working hard, or we're not keeping up, or competition is going to get ahead of us. What athletics does is when you rest, when you work hard, so you practice hard, you go out, you compete, you win. Or you lose. Doesn't really matter, but you compete. That's the goal. You compete with everything you have. And at the end of that, you rest. And if you were injured in the process, you recover. Both of those things are necessary for you to be at full strength to compete, to practice and compete at your full potential the next time.
Yes.
What corporate America is not getting is that. They're not allowing people to rest and recover so that they can be at their best for the next change that comes. Instead, you implement change on top of change. I didn't get a chance to rest or recover, so I'm not at my full strength. Then the change doesn't go in very well, and you blame the people. Well, leadership needs to step in and say, in order for us, yes, there's more change coming.
Yes.
And in order for us to be at our best for the next wave of change that's coming, we're going to make a choice and take a deliberate pause to allow people to understand what we just did, to rest and recover, so that we can all hit the ground and move hard forward to implement this next change.
And then while we say it,
Yeah.
that sounds fantastic.
Yeah. Right.
But that takes discipline.
Yes.
It takes courage
Yes, that's the word.
to do that. And I can speak for myself. I didn't always have that courage because I felt the work, and this is when you make this choice, that the work was more important than the win. Like, I got to do this work, I got to do this work, I got to do this work, thinking that the work will get you the win, but you've lost sight of actually winning.
Right.
What you now are focusing on is the work. And when you make that choice as a leader, when you lose that perspective, due to pressure, due with whatever was coming, when you make that choice, you're making that choice not only for you, but for those around you.
Yeah.
When you make that choice to burn, conscious or unconscious,
Yes.
it's not just you that burns.
That's right.
It's your team.
Yes.
And I remember it vividly. I was working my way to director. I was a manager, was working my way to director. I was given the director job as acting. I was an acting director at the time, and I needed to get it in. I needed to get it done. And I made that choice to work the weekends, work the holidays. I missed my niece's graduation, and I missed my nephew's baby shower. Wow. Trying to get it in, trying to get it done.
Yep.
And I was like, I can make this sacrifice. It hurt, but I can make this sacrifice. But when I made that choice, I made that commitment for my team as well. Once we got through it, it was painful, it was messy. No one was happy. Once we got through it and I got to see the aftermath, not only just for me, but for the team, there were folks that walked away with health issues.
Yes.
I walked away with health issues. You're left going, freak. Of course, that's not the word.
Yes. Yes.
That was not the right call. And I made a vow right then and there that I would not make that choice again. I would make a different choice. And I got the opportunity to exercise that, to make a different choice. And I remember having the conversation with the president about we as a team, because this was the next big push, next big initiative, and saying we need more time. And it took courage to do, because no one wanted to hear it. No one wanted to hear we needed more money, to spend more money. No one needed to hear we needed more time. But that was the right answer, because I'd lived through burning before. I lived through that and the recovery that comes after it, although I confused it with rest at the time. But that going through it as the one who made the call. When you're the leader that makes the call that causes you and your team to burn, and you see the aftermath coming out the other side, if you don't exit that changed, I don't know what to tell you. But I know for me, I exited that changed.
Yeah.
Like, I will never do that again.
Yes. That's good, right? And it's a choice.
Mm-hmm.
And some distinctions that I want to make sure people understand. That working hard and burning out are two different things.
Yes.
So we're not telling you that those two things equate. That, working hard, you will eventually burn out. Not the case. There are people that work hard. And I'm telling you, work hard, get what you want. That is your choice to do. But there's a distinction that there's a line that you cross when working hard becomes burnout.
Yes.
And what I'd like for us to share is, when do you know you've crossed that line? What are some indicators of that? And then what do you do? So I'll start with, for me, indicators that I'm no longer just working hard, but I'm headed towards burnout. And the best thing you can do is catch it before you actually hit burnout, because that's the best. But if you actually hit burnout, we'll give you some things to think through once you're actually in there, in that space. But for me, when I can catch it sooner, there are some indicators. One is I get migraine headaches. So when I'm burned out, I'm not resting, I'm not eating well, I'm working. And again, it's not just working hard, it's these extra things that are happening that are causing the burnout. Again, the not sleeping, the worrying, the anxiety. Sometimes if that goes too long, it can lead into a form of depression. Mm-hmm. All of these things. And then you physically just I don't feel well. All that triggers that physical migraine headache. I already mentioned that I don't sleep, but it's not just tossing and turning. It is, my brain is racing so much, so fast that I actually have to get out of bed and do something. And so now I find myself at the computer at 3 a.m. working on stuff when I should be asleep. The third thing is I'm grouchy and irritable. So typically I'm a calm, kind of even-spirited person. But when I find myself snapping at the dog even, that's an indicator. And my close circle will kind of point out to me, hey, what's going on with you? You're not your normal self. For me to try to catch sooner that I'm headed towards burnout. So those are some indicators for me. Can you think of any things that
for me
can help you catch sooner?
The last thing that you said, which was people start inquiring for me about me. Hey, are you okay? They'll ask, how's everything going? That's a good indicator for me to check in with myself.
Yes.
Because I don't have the rubric yet to sense that I'm burning. Yeah. I need some external kind of observation to kind of, hey, is everything moving along? I've gotten better about when I'm stressed, which is different than burning out.
Yes.
Right? And so, but it's an antecedent, I think, to burning. And so, but when I get to the place where I'm beginning to burn, I really need that external check. And what's helpful is asking myself the question, when was the last time I rested? When was the last time I could have gone, could have done, could have said, but I chose not to?
Yes.
That's a good kind of rubric. When that external stimulus comes in, I can go, when was the last time I rested? Because you tend to remember your recoveries because they're typically right after a break.
Yes.
You remember the break and the recovery. It takes more to remember the rest.
Yeah.
To say, when was the last time I could have and I decided not to? We have to learn to celebrate the rest. And just as we do in celebrating the work. And as a cultural thing, one of the things that was where I got caught up was in trying to change a culture. Because I went through, again, burnout as a member of the team. I went through burnout as the leader of the team. And I said, okay, I'm not going to do that ever again. But how do I make sure that we more broadly say that this should never happen? And I worked very diligently to try to change the culture around that. I had some successes, but not nearly the success that I was hoping for. And then I realized, and this is for folks that are early in their career or in their mid-career, know that culture is a reflection of the leader. It's a reflection of the leader. You cannot change the culture without changing the leader. And that can either happen because the leader is a new person, or the leader has gone through some sort of transformation.
Love that.
If you do not have the ability to influence the leader of the organization, your ability to influence culture is significantly limited. Because at the end of the day, your culture is defined by what you reward, what you recognize, and what you tolerate. That leader...
Say that one more time, because that's good.
What that leader rewards, what that leader recognizes, and most importantly, what that leader tolerates.
Yes.
So if burning yourself and burning your team is rewarded and recognized, that is your culture.
Say the part about a leader burning their team, because burnout isn't just you at fault, right? Just know that as a leader, you can burn out your team and people around you.
And those people who are making those choices, and this is what is so important for leaders to know, because folks do have choices. They can be maliciously compliant. They can call off. They can report. And all of those things are options available to them. When someone on your team is burning, quite possibly right alongside you, that's a commitment that you should not take lightly, because they are saying, I'm here with you. I know I have a much better appreciation for that and for people who have made that choice along with me in the past.
Yes.
Now, some of those folks are now lifelong friends, because you can't go through the hell that we went through and not come out of it bonded. Right. It's a hell of a way to bond. Not a healthy way to bond. Yes. But that's what happens. I would absolutely implore us to really make sure that we are not equating working hard to burning out. Yes. And validating that burnout is just simply part of the work experience, because it does not have to be. Because if you're not able to be present, and if you're not able to enjoy the win, did you really win?
Right. That's good. I want to close. I know we're at time. Just maybe one or two things that someone can do when they're in burnout. We talked about maybe catching some indicators up front, but if you are burning out right now, or you're feeling burned out right now, you think of maybe one or two things they might do to help them, get to the other side of that?
Asking for help is always the best answer.
Yes.
Often the most difficult.
Find a coach. find a coach that you can talk to, because that asking for help and just talking through what you're experiencing is a big help.
Yes, 100%. And know that you can always make a different choice. Mm-hmm. You could always make a different choice.
Yes.
And even if you realize you have made the choice to burn, which is impacting you and your team and those around you, because your loved ones are also impacted when you make that choice, you can stop and you can make a different choice. And I know it can feel, but I committed to doing this. Yes, you did. Well, my word is my bond. Yes, it is. And you can change it.
Yes.
By having the conversation, by having the courage to have the conversation. While it may be difficult, no, I should say maybe, it is difficult to have that conversation. It's much more valuable than continuing to burn.
Yes, absolutely. And I'll just close with find ways, techniques to meditate. I don't do it very well, but I know that is a powerful tool that many people use, even before you burn out, or it has nothing to do with burnout. It's just healthy meditation, but it can absolutely help you when you're in a state of burnout. Start practicing that now, but utilize that. And I love the choice piece. Make a choice to rest, either in the midst of the burnout, so you're going to raise your hand and say, in this moment, I know we are right in the middle of it, but I need a moment to rest.
Yes.
So you need the courage to say that. And if you make the choice that I'm going to finish this out, I'm going to continue this burn to get to the end state, whatever that is, hopefully not long, that you make the choice to rest after. At some point.
To recover.
Yes.
Yes.
Recover and rest.
Yes.
After, right? Do not immediately jump into the next thing without taking that pause.
Yes.
And again, having the courage to say to your leadership, to the people around you, personally or professionally, that I need this moment to recover, and to rest.
Yes. And I want to just throw this last piece in.
Yes,
I know we gotta go.
Yes.
But mental health day is a sick day.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
That's
You
good.
have PTO, you have sick time.
Yes.
A mental health day is a sick day.
Yes.
And you should report it as such.
Yes.
And so it's because there are multiple ways to be ill.
And you get no gold star for ending the year with a bunch of PTO left over.
No.
Right?
There's no perfect attendance award.
All right, that's right. That's right.
Yes.
Excellent. Well, today's episode was all around burnout, and hopefully you got some good insight. I know a lot of people are dealing with burnout, both personally and professionally. So hopefully we gave you some insight into how to catch that sooner, some indicators of when you're headed towards burnout, why people are experiencing burnout, both professionally and personally, and some things you might do when you're in the midst of burnout that can get you through it, hopefully quicker than not. So with that, we hope you enjoyed this episode. We ask that you would click the like button below, subscribe, and comment, please. We love to hear your feedback. It helps us with future episodes. And by all means, shoot us over some topics that you'd like to hear from us. And with that, we will see you next time.
Thanks for tuning in to Leadership Unfiltered. We hope you have found value in our conversation and are ready to take action in your leadership journey. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe, share, and leave us a review. And don't forget to connect with us on social media for more leadership insights and resources. Until next time, keep leading with purpose.